So Rangers finally get their hands on that first trophy of the season, and in this video I'm going to tell you why this could be one of the biggest moments of Rangers' season. Now obviously before the Betis game, if you'd have looked at the injury list, you'd have looked at what we were left with, the cards we had been dealt, you wouldn't have been blamed for being, void of confidence going into this week in general. But I think, as I said in the Betis reaction video, that played a massive part in bringing up the confidence within this squad to go into the final and get a result. And we done that. Was it the prettiest of the games? No. I think first half it was scrappy for all of the game. There was no real passages of play from either team, to be honest. I didn't, even thinking back right now, there's no big moments that pop into my head. I think it was maybe one shot on target for each team, and we knew it was probably going to end up a slog of a game, and it was. Now there's times where, yes, we will play poorly, and even though there's been debate around about him for a long time now, James Tavernier somehow always finds a way to pop up in those big moments where we need him the most. With a volley that dug into the pitch, ended up in the back of the net, it's always these big moments that redeems James Tavernier in the fans' eyes. Now the reason I thought before that this trophy this week was so big for Rangers was the fact that, number one, silverware is always a massive boost to the mentality of the team, to the character of the team, to the confidence of the team, especially throughout the month of December, where games are coming at you thick and fast. It's a month where if things are, grinding away slowly, it can end up a bit of a slog, but you need those games in there like Betis and like this cup final, lifting the first piece of silverware to almost spur you on through the rest of the month, into that break, into the transfer window where Clement can put his twist on the team. Now, watching a lot of the interviews after the match, there was a common theme going around the players, all the player interviews, where they spoke about how Rangers seemed lost, and obviously they were talking about under the Beale period, and how Clement came in and completely changed their mentality, gave them a bit more confidence and simplified things down a bit, and that would make sense. With the way the team were performing, with the way the injury list was looking, we needed a week like this to lift the fans, get the fans back on board, because at a club like Rangers, having the fans on board is pretty much half the battle. Obviously a lot of people wouldn't expect it, but you've got to give a massive shout out to Sterling. The fact that it was all a surprise to us against Betis, him coming into that midfield and partnering with John Lundstrom, and also him getting put in the starting lineup, doing the exact same thing. I think he put in an absolutely massive performance, and as I said before, that little missing piece in the midfield could well be pace. I think he covered a lot of the pitch. Obviously Lundstrom gets himself about, he does the physical part of the job in that midfield, and although yes, we didn't really have a firm grasp on the game in general, I think Sterling definitely covers a lot of ground, especially when we're having to backtrack. He makes up for that lack of pace that Lundstrom has. Now for Rangers to have probably the best week I've seen us have in a long time, it only comes at a perfect moment, a moment where across the city we see struggles, couple of games lost in a row, and a massive chance to claw back all of those points, and if we win more games in hand, go top of the table. Now, a trophy does the world of good in terms of momentum going into the later part of this month, and if we can manage to get ourselves on top come the time that those two games in hand come round, personally, I don't really see us being stopped for there. Anyway, that's enough for me. Here's Kieran's thoughts.
What a day to be a Rangers fan. What a week to be a Rangers fan. What a job this guy is doing with this team. I mean, we're down to the bare bones almost, and we go midweek and have probably one of the biggest results in Rangers European history, to be honest. How we managed that, I don't know, but there's clearly been a shift in mentality amongst these players. We see it against Betis. We managed to show up when we're really under the cosh, when it's a big game. The stakes are high, and the same was done today. I mean, was it the best performance in the world? As Andy said, it was scrappy, honestly, for the first minute to the last, but There's the difference. I mean, a game like that, for Rangers teams in the past, I think we make a mess of it, to be honest. We don't get the job done. I mean, we've got Dessers on up front, who is shown some good things at moments, but he's certainly miles off it for the finished article for me, in terms of his first touch, his positioning. But then he goes and does that goal against Betis and you're thinking maybe there is something in there. You've got young McCausland, who's only just broke into the team. He's starting in a cup final. We're playing Sterling in centre mid. We've got injury after injury after injury. But look, the questions have been asked of Clement and what he's got. The questions have been asked of the players and what they've got, and whether they would be willing to step up for a change, to capitalise and drop points, to get the job done in the big European game, to show up and win the League Cup final. The first time since Jelavic sealed that winner against Celtic back in 2011, I think it was. This was a big month. Possibly and probably the biggest month of the year so far, and the biggest month that we'll expect probably this season. And at the start of December, maybe the way we were playing, some injuries, I wasn't filled with confidence. But look, the players have showed up, the manager showed up, I've been proved wrong, and boy does that feel good as a Rangers fan. It feels, what a relief, honestly. Betis done, Aberdeen Cup final done. The next big task is to deal with Celtic at the end of the year, to really take advantage of them slitting up. And before we know it, it is possible. When we thought, a couple of weeks ago, that the title race might be done, well, it's back on, baby! Oh yes, it feels good. I mean, I'm buzzing. I bet you all yous are buzzing. Andy's buzzing, Alan Hutton's buzzing, and Michael Stewart is fucking raging. Aye, really, the change in this team, the mentality, you see it with that in the last couple of minutes for Big Sima. I mean, Barisic is kind of blown, to be honest, which you can't really blame him. Just 3 days between this game and the Betis game and the travelling, but Big Sima just seems to have endless energy after Clement coming out and say, here, we need to kind of lay off the guy for a bit, he's just had a baby. But I mean, this guy is up and down that wing non-stop. What a shift he put in, and it really just sums up how the mentality of the team has changed since Michael Beale left and Clement came in as manager. I mean, like I said at the start of this, we're down to the bare bones, but the squad is stepping up. The people who are getting brought on the park are stepping up. Everybody's fighting for each other. We're celebrating, the fans are happy, the relationship's building between the fans and the manager and the fans and the player. Remember, it was against this mob not that long ago that the team was booed off the park. They booed off the park to Europa League knockout football, our first victory in Europe in Spain, clinching this massive game to win the League Cup for the first time in about 13 years. Things are changing for the better. But we can celebrate now. We deserve to celebrate now. But the job's far from done. It's about whether they can keep this standard. Aye, the quality on the park, it wasn't great today. And aye, we were under the cosh a lot on Thursday night as well. But from a character point of view, the players, for the first time in quite some time, were really asked questions and came up with the right answers. They stuck in there, they got the job done. I mean, Tavernier again steps up the day. We've all criticised him in the past, but I mean, this is what the guy does. He scores the crucial goal in the cup final to win us the game. Now it's time to just be complacent, to be consistent, to get people back for injury, to really go into this old firm with high spirits, with momentum, and really take the game to them. Then it's about the business that we do in January. We definitely need to strengthen. There's multiple areas we need to strengthen, and we know that. But as for now, I mean, things are looking good. Anyway, back to Andy.
So after all the shit we've been put through so far, you've been put through by watching our videos, commenting and all the shit, I genuinely do believe that we did deserve this as fans. Now what I want you to do is jump into the comments, let me know what you thought about the performance, let me know what you thought in terms of, do you think this gives us momentum going forward for the rest of the season, especially getting into that all-important Old Firm game. And then can I just remind you that the BlueSea channel memberships are available. The link to that is down in the description. It helps us invest a wee bit more back into the content with your support. As I said, link to that in the description next to our socials. We'll see you next time.